But the irony of this, and I don't want to make it sound like it's a wonderful thing, is after everything his wives went through with him, all these young virgins that married him, at the end of the day, the wife that he preferred was nothing like them. She wasn't in her 20s. She wasn't a virgin. She was a divorced, single mother of 3 children. She was experienced. And at the end of the day, that's the one that he preferred. I know the background is different. I'll tell you towards the end about some of the changes that you might see in this channel. But I've been wanting to make this video all week. But because of difficulties in my previous filming place, I haven't been able to do it. But I didn't want to end the week without talking about this because I think it's so important. Kody Brown, who is or was part of the family of Kody Brown from the TLC reality show Sister Wives, has come out with an explosive book. Now, we knew that she was writing a book after leaving Kody. And a little bit of background for those of you who don't know. This is a family of sister wives. There's one husband, Kody Brown, and he had 4 wives: Meri, Jeanelle, Christine, and Robyn. And throughout the different seasons, we have seen all the difficulties that those marriages have been having. And as a result of that, Kody is now only married to the 4th wife, who is Robyn. This is something that I predicted in the one and only video I made about this show. I had been watching this show for many years and then I stopped watching. But now with the upcoming season, which might be the last season of this show, I want to explore this more because I just found the dynamic in that family so interesting. And it is something that I have always had a curiosity about, these plural marriages. The Brown family are from a religion that is an offshoot of the Mormon Church, which is notorious for their plural marriages here in the United States. So yeah, I've always found it very fascinating. And so we knew that the book was going to come out and it was going to maybe reveal some things, but we were not ready. We were not ready for the explosive details that have come out of this book. She goes into very explicit detail about how the marriages were dysfunctional. She talks about hers mostly because that's the only thing she can talk about, her situation. And she talked about how dysfunctional the marriage was, how the dynamics between the wives were not what we saw on the show. We knew there was tension between the wives. We just didn't know it was this bad. And the relationship between her and Kody was nothing short of abusive. And I want to thank once again Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. A lot of you have been watching her who watch my show as well, because we both have been discussing in great detail about the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni legal case. But she has also done a lot of coverage of the show Sister Wives. And over the years, as I stopped watching, I would watch Katie to kind of keep up with what was going on because I had stopped watching. And so she's the one who I have been listening to lately. And she bought the book, Christine's book, and she has been giving us the details of what's in the book. And my goodness, I think I'm going to buy the book myself, because I need to see it with my own eyes. But the marriage was nothing short of abusive. Maybe not physically abusive. Well, she describes her first time with Kody on their wedding night, how he was not gentle with her. She was a virgin. She had never even kissed anybody other than when she kissed Kody at the altar. And then she describes how later that night, he just didn't take the time to be gentle with her, knowing that this was her first time, didn't do anything to prep her. And it was a very traumatizing experience for her. And throughout the years, he didn't show any real care for her. And as the marriage was coming to an end, he made it very clear to her that he was never attracted to her. When we think of physical abuse, we think of somebody being hit and attacked, but not taking the time to be gentle with somebody who you know has no experience, that this is their first time, that this can be a very painful experience if you're not careful. Knowing now that he was never attracted to her, it seems very much like it was done on purpose to hurt her. That is my opinion. And that is physical abuse. But when I talk about how the relationship was abusive, I'm referring to the emotional abuse of him letting her know that he was not attracted to her, that because she was overweight, he never really liked her body. And this caused Christine to question everything, to be really hard on herself. Yeah, it was just horrendous. And now that I know how Kody treated Christine, who, for those of you who watched the show, I don't know if you remember, there was an episode where when they moved to Las Vegas and every one of them was going to be having, for the first time in their marriage, they were each going to have their own home in the cul-de-sac. Because before that, they were all living under the same roof. But once he married Robyn, and they had this whole thing that they were afraid that the authorities, because they exposed themselves as polygamists, and at the time polygamy was very much illegal in the state of Utah, even though it's the state where you have the most plural marriages. They were afraid that the authorities wanted to make an example of them. So they decided to flee to Las Vegas, and that's where they had their individual homes, the cul-de-sac, where they had 4 homes, one for each wife, and Kody could just, go from one home to the next when it was his turn with each wife. And in that episode, there was the man who was the realtor, I believe, and he was showing them the different houses, and each day Kody showed up with a different wife. And he was describing about, of course, when he and Robyn showed up, he said, oh, with him and Robyn, the honeymoon is still going on. You can see the love between them and the attraction. I think he talked about when he was with Meri, the realtor described the relationship as contentious. Then when he described the relationship between Kody and Jeanelle, I think he said that it was more like a business transaction, like they were friends. But then when he described the relationship between Kody and Christine, from what he could observe, he said that they looked like best friends, that they were laughing, that they had this jovial relationship. And I'm thinking that's how he always described his relationship with Christine, that she was the comic relief for the relationship. That when he first married Meri, the relationship was going well, but then when he introduced Jeanelle into the relationship, Meri suffered from severe jealousy, and it caused a lot of tension in the relationship between Meri and Jeanelle. But it was when Christine came into the picture that Christine was kind of like that salve, that balm that softened things and kind of brought levity and joy to the family. And he always described her that way. So to hear that the relationship was really this horrible behind the scenes, there's no way that he wasn't as terrible to his other wives other than Robyn. There is no way that he was letting Christine know that he didn't find her attractive because she had some weight on her. And he wasn't doing the same thing to Jeanelle, who was even bigger than Christine. There's no way that he wasn't being mean to Meri. The entire thing has just painted a picture that is so disturbing that I don't think anybody who watched the show over the years, even if we knew, like I said, we could pick up that there was tension in the relationships between the wives and between Kody and his wives as they became jealous. It's so much worse than we imagined, that we could never look at Kody the same way we have looked at him. And Katie from Without a Crystal Ball, who was talking about it, I think she made a really good point that the show is unsustainable at this point. There's no way that TLC, after seeing what Christine put in that book, can, with a good conscience, continue to platform this man, even if he is now living exclusively with his favorite wife. What's going on in that marriage? Because I don't believe that a man that can be so mean and abusive to other women can be the most wonderful gentleman to the woman that he's with now. There are secrets that are happening in that marriage as well. It has to be. It has to be. When I made the video about Robyn, and it was called In Defense of Robyn, I think you should watch it. It didn't get enough views, and I worked really hard on it. But if you watch that video, I talk about the fact that, you know what, in defense of Robyn, yes, she's the favorite one because she caters to Kody. Kody's kind of a narcissist. He wants everything to be about him. That's why he wanted plural marriage. All these men who talk about, oh, we're doing it because the prophet told us that that's the way to salvation. That's BS. You have to be a narcissist to want all these women and all these children that they're having to all revolve around you. And so I said in that video, Robyn is the favorite because she's the one doing what he wants his wives to do. She's catering to him. She is obedient to him. And I could never find myself in a relationship like that. But if that's what you like, then why not play the game? That's what I said at the time. And to a large extent, I still believe that. But now that I know who Kody really is he even worth it? Robyn could never look at us in the face and act as if she won the prize. What prize? She got stuck with the bag of poop. That's really what she did. She was the last woman standing. And there's no prize in what this man has done. And I make these videos when I talk about the fallacy or the scam of traditional gender roles, because I want to hammer in the minds, especially of young women. This is why they want to catch you when you're young and inexperienced and you have no self-esteem. You have no sense of who you are. This is why they want to catch you young, because they get to abuse you. They get to take advantage of you. They get to get everything they want to get from you, knowing that they don't have to give to you what you need from them. One of the things that Christine describes in the book is that Kody loved to get massages from his wives. And then when Christine said, okay, my turn, how about my massage? He would say, but that doesn't turn me on. It turns me on when you give me a massage. But when I massage you, it doesn't do anything for me. So why would I do that? And they accepted it. Number one, because all these women that he married, the first 3 wives, were very young and inexperienced. They were all virgins when they married Kody. But also they bought into this whole thing of the sacrament, and the marriage is holy and you have to work at it. And the reason why the prophet wanted women to share a man was to teach them humility and patience. How is the man going to learn humility and patience when he doesn't get to share his wives? But the wives have to share the husband because they need to learn humility. Oh my God, it is... The insanity of most religions is that in most religions, if not all, the woman is the one who has to make the biggest sacrifice. And I am a Christian, I'm a Seventh-day Adventist, and I believe in God. But there's so much about religion that I have just divested from, because a lot of it is man-made and heavy emphasis on man. Because men create religions so they can control women and control resources and use guilt and piety to exert that control. And it is embarrassing. It really is. It is so ridiculous telling young girls from a very young age, you must save yourself for your husband. Your body belongs to your husband, and you must be young and fresh and beautiful. Otherwise, he won't want you. Don't wait until you're too old to get married, because then who's gonna want you? But the irony of this, and I don't want to make it sound like it's a wonderful thing, but the irony of this is after everything his wives went through with him, all these young virgins that married him, at the end of the day, the wife that he preferred was nothing like them. She wasn't young. She wasn't in her 20s. She wasn't a virgin. She was a divorced single mother of 3 children. She was experienced sexually. She knew what her body liked and what it didn't like. And at the end of the day, that's the one that he prefers. Now, like I said, there's no way for me to think that he has never been mean to her. Although I don't know, but Robyn doesn't seem like the type who would put up with that kind of abuse, that kind of ill treatment. After all, she talks about the fact that her first husband, the father of her first 3 children, was abusive to her and she left him. So I don't think Robyn would put up with that kind of meanness, but there has to be some kind of manipulation on Kody's part, because that's the kind of man that he sounds like he is. From what I understand, he hasn't made any statements since Christine's book came out. But my goodness, this is not a good look for him or for any of his wives. For none of the children to know that this is their dad, that this is how he treats their mothers behind the scenes. For that church, that religion of theirs, for their culture. This is really embarrassing. And I don't know. I just want young girls to know that anybody or any religious group that tells you that your value can be reduced to whether you have a membrane that is spiderweb thin between your legs or not, that is what's going to determine your value as a woman, as worthy of love and marriage, you need to run from that. Because at any scale, it is a dangerous message that nobody should be getting. No man or woman, but it's the women who get the message after all. So yeah, this is why they want you young, inexperienced, insecure, and easily manipulable. I'm not telling you to wait until you're 50. I'm not telling you to do any of that. But wait until you know who you are. Wait until you have a sense of who you are. Date different guys, get to know people. Don't listen to people saying that if you kiss too many frogs, you're gonna reduce your value. Because life shows you that that is not the case. The man who's gonna marry you, who's gonna value you, is gonna be the man who sees you as more than a body with life experience. If you want to wait until marriage, if that's going to make you feel empowered and valuable as a person, I applaud that. Wait. It's actually really good advice. But don't do it because you're afraid that if you don't wait, you're not going to be worthy of love and respect. That is always the wrong way of looking at things. Don't do that. You are worth so much more. Your personality, your intelligence, your kindness, your work ethic, your spirituality, all of that comes together to make you a unique, beautiful, perfect package. Don't let anybody knock you off of that pedestal. Don't be Christine 1.0. I am so glad that Christine left after 20-something years of abusive marriage, and she is now with somebody who I believe is a much better husband. David seems like a wonderful man who got a woman who wasn't in her 20s, who wasn't inexperienced, who didn't have children. He got himself a woman, a full, complete woman who knows who she is, who after learning her lessons of everything that she didn't want in a marriage, decided this is what I want next. And that is the woman he fell in love with. Christine deserves it, and so do you. Okay? I'm going to talk more about this. I think I'm going to go watch the next season because I'm really interested in how this is going to turn out, in the fallout of everything that has happened. And let me know if you'd like to see me make more content about sister wives and other topics other than Blake Lively, because I'm kind of getting tired of this. I really am. But I will continue to talk about that whenever there's news. But I also want to switch it up and talk about other things that I used to talk about before. So thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel if you would like to see me talk more about things in the news and pop culture and in social media. Please give a like to this video. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this. Share this video with others. Okay, so the reason why I'm in my room and I'm going to be looking for alternative venues is because things are changing in my office. I try to make my YouTube videos before my working hours, but things are starting to change, where there's going to be more people in the office earlier than opening hours, and it's going to be uncomfortable for me to make my videos then. And the office is also changing, and I always wanted to make my videos in an office because I thought it gave it a more professional look. But I mean, I'm sure you guys don't mind me filming in my room. Do you mind? Let me know in the comments. But thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. Maybe from my car, maybe from my room. See you then. Bye. Wow.